Gentleman yields back. Chair recognizes Mr. Connolly for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Pemberton, listening to your testimony in the beginning, you had strong objections to rhetoric, things said at the City Council. Is it your contention that things said by elected officials in the City Council are what is driving police officers from the force?
That partially, yes, and just as Congresswoman Norton pointed out, that these problems are in existence all over the country.
Right.
And the reason that they're in existence is partly because of rhetoric people have taken up talking about police officers and the industry of law enforcement in general. Yeah.
Do you reside in the District of Columbia?
I did reside here for 16 years. I recently moved out.
So you couldn't run for D.C. City Council?
No, sir.
No. But they are elected by the people of the District of Columbia. You're not.
No, I'm elected by the law enforcement officers in the District
but
of
I mean,
Columbia.
At some point, we have to respect the will of the people. And the people elected Mr. Mendelson and Mr. Allen. So you can disagree all you want. It's a free country. But they get to make laws, they get to pursue policies, and they get to express themselves. And if the voters don't like it, they can vote them out, right?
I agree completely. I'm not trying to undermine that, sir. I'm trying to talk about the unintended consequences of the rhetoric.
All right. I just want to clarify that
leave
because
the department in droves.
In the beginning, your testimony seemed to question their right to say it. And that bothered me.
Okay.
As somebody who comes from local government and had to run a police department. Okay. Of course, I don't even understand why we're having this hearing because we can have hearings till the cows come home about various municipalities or rural parts of America in which we all disagree, or some of us disagree. But should we? At what point do we deal with our own contradictions about the right of people to self-government? Irrespective of, hey, I can go through a lot of states right now, especially on the red side, that I don't like. I don't like their policies, I don't like their elected officials, and I'd like to have a hearing to second-guess them and overturn their legislation. And the only thing we hide behind around here is that the Constitution grants us oversight. Yes, the Constitution does, but the Constitution did not foresee a vibrant urban area called the District of Columbia. In fact, D.C. did not exist when the Constitution of the United States was written. That happened after the formation of the new government pursuant to the Constitution of the United States. And if we want to run for local government, run for local government. Senator Lee cares so much, let him chair the zoning committee. Tom Cotton, senator from Arkansas, a well-known expert in the District of Columbia and local government generally, referred to a working class and well-rounded. D.C. was neither a well-rounded nor working class state. Now, Mr. Mendelson, I'm sure there are working class people in the District of Columbia. I've only been here 50 years, but I'm struck with the fact they do have working class people. But am I wrong?
No, we have lots of them.
Oh, good. Okay, so that part we met. Now, well-rounded, there's an interesting concept. Sounds a little subjective to me. Are we going to take the well-rounded test for who qualifies for statehood, and for that matter, who gets a vote here in the United States Congress? Mr. Allen, I don't know. What do you think?
I find the District of Columbia to be very well-rounded.
So that's your opinion. So we'll pit your opinion against Mr. Cotton's opinion. And that's not arbitrary or whimsical. And meanwhile, based on that thinking, that logic, if one can call it that, almost 700,000 people have denied their voting rights in the United States Congress. That's the absurdity we've now descended to. As I say to my colleagues on the other side, yes, you can have a hearing like this, and you can overturn laws. But the question is, should you? And at what point do you live up to your own commitment to local government is closest to the people, and we believe in self-determination. That ought to be a conservative as well as progressive principle. I yield back.